Okay, so you're a creative person and you love the idea of doing artwork on a daily or weekly basis, making it part of your life, possibly even selling your work. And just between you and me, if you could make a living off of your artwork, that would be a dream come true. But you have little kids at home, life is busy, the house is a mess, you didn't get a full night's sleep last night, there's a pile of dishes in the sink, the to-do list is miles long with lots of practical things, and artwork seems like the last thing that you should or can be doing right now, so it gets put way on the back burner. Well, I'm here today to tell you that you can create art as a mother of young children, and if you want, you can even turn it into an income stream. But there's one condition to doing this, and I will tell you that in a minute. First of all, I'm Anna, and I am a painter and a resin artist, and I am a mom of 6 children. We had 6 children in 7 years. Right now, they're ages 10 and down, ending with 3-year-old toddler twin boys. In the past few years, I have created a website, a Facebook, Instagram for my artwork. I've painted hundreds of paintings. I have done hundreds of trays and coasters, resin trays and coasters. I have sold my work on my website and on Facebook. I have done art fairs, art shows and craft fairs, and I've done hundreds of YouTube videos. If I can do that, you are capable of doing something similar, but here's the condition. You have to want to. If this is something you're considering, you're like desiring and wanting to jump in, I would just recommend that you take some quiet, if you can ever find quiet, after the kids go to bed or get up early one morning, and quiet time to just reflect and pray and think about this, and to really discern whether this is something you should do and you want to do, and not just something that you feel like you should do or have to do. We live in a crazy time where we see so much of other people's lives through media, social media, that a lot of times when we see someone like making date pancakes, banana, egg pancakes, we like think, oh, I should do that too. Or if we see someone like clean out their refrigerator and do like a speed clean of their house, we're like, oh, another thing I should do. So just because you see like these exciting things people are doing and bragging about basically when they post it, doesn't mean that it's something that God is asking you to do or calling you to do. So first, it's like discerning if this is something that you really are desiring and something that you really, that would really be good for your life and your family. If you feel like this peaceful desire and this excited draw towards making art more of a part of your life, then I would definitely move towards it. If you feel like this stress and this like pressure to do it, and you're like just experiencing discouragement and stuff, maybe just wait, maybe put it on that like do later thing, but you know, stay on task with what God is giving you for today, and just keep like praying about that and thinking about it. Also, maybe talk to your husband or like a trusted friend about it. I would not share your dream with someone who's going to poo-poo it though. Like when I have something that I'm excited about, if it's a dream, like I do not share it with anyone unless I know that they are going to, number one, be honest with me because they love me, and number 2, like be excited for me and support me. So I think very strongly that art is an important thing in our world. I think artists do have a calling to be creative and use their gifts to glorify God and to bring more light, beauty, goodness, truth, and joy into the world that is increasingly darker and darker. And so if you are an artist, which just means you like to make art in any form, whether that's painting or photography or culinary art or literary art or whatever it is, If you have a desire and a love for creating, that is so good. I feel so strongly that artists need to more follow their calling because the world so badly needs more beauty. I have a video on this topic and I'm gonna put it up here in this corner. I really recommend that if you're wondering about whether it's something you should spend time on, that you go and watch that little artist chat. Okay, and then second, if this is something that you're just starting on, I would not approach it as I'm gonna start an art business. Like, I would not start out that way. If art is something you love and you're excited about like putting more of it into your life, but you're hesitant, you don't know if you have the time or like how you're gonna make it happen, I would not start out as a full-blown, I'm gonna do this as a business. I like the term passion project, I heard. I don't really like the term hobby because it kind of decreases the importance, I feel like, of the artwork. It seems like just something like, oh, I just like to sit in my chair and knit once a month, you know. I think I like passion project because it doesn't seem like it has to make money when you call it that, but it seems like it's more of a something that you love, and you're trying to figure out how you can use what you love to impact other people in the world. Next tip I would say is to start small. No, on day one, you do not need to open an Etsy, buy $500 of materials on Amazon. Just use what you have already, you know, the paints or whatever that you have accumulating in the craft cart, and just start with one little painting or whatever it is. Take your camera, go out and shoot some, you know, birds at the state park or whatever art form you do. Just sprinkle a little bit of it into your life. Like maybe you're taking the kids to a park. Maybe just bring a sketchbook along and just do 5-10 minutes. Start small and see how it fits in with your life and see if you're enjoying it. Okay, next point, this is a really big one. Don't wait for the time to open up to do your art. Make the time. And I have a lot of practical tips on doing that because for the last few years I have been making the time that I did not think existed to do the hundreds of pieces of art that I never would have done unless I made the conscious decision to make the time and not wait for it to roll around in the next 20 years or when I retire. Also, I forgot to mention that I stay at home with my kids and I homeschool them. So they don't go to school during the day and I get time while they're at school to do this stuff. I am with them pretty much 24/7 unless I get a babysitter or leave in the evening after my husband is back from work. You can see me. Okay, so here's a huge list of different practical ideas on how you can make time for artwork, and these are all things, or most of them things that I've tried. So from the very easiest up into maybe the more luxurious or dream-worthy ideas. Okay, very easy. Bring your kids into it with you. Bring your paints out, your canvas out, grab some paper and like crayons or watercolors because it's easy to clean up for the kids, and just sit at the table and work on your project. You're gonna have to let go of perfectionism if you do this because you're gonna get interrupted 37 times and you're gonna have to grab some of the snack and you're gonna have to like wipe up the spilled water. But however, just embrace the imperfect. Feel proud of yourself that you did it, even though it didn't look great. Maybe you barely started what you wanted to work on, but you got it out and you tried. So I would just say start with that. Try bringing the kids into it. Do it right when they're all around you, making messes, whatever. You can deal with it afterwards. You can pick up the messes later on. Second, super easy idea, and I am going to say it, put on a movie, okay? Maybe you just do it for half an hour or an hour on an afternoon. Maybe you do that every day or like once a week or something. And you know, if you only do it, you know, once a day or once a week, the kids are more excited to watch something. If they're used to watching stuff all the time, they might, you know, be doing other things instead. But if it's kind of a treat, put something interesting on for them and use that time to just get a focused hour of work in. Next idea, ask your husband for some time. So regularly when my husband is home from work, and I'll warn him like a day or the night before, I will ask him if I can go for an hour or two to the coffee shop and work on a YouTube video, or just get out of the house or whatever I need to do. So ask your husband. Usually he might like fake to grumble about it or whatever, but if you're thankful to him, like usually he's very happy to help you feel more like a sane person and do something that you enjoy. Next idea, you could ask your husband for a whole morning, like a Saturday morning when he's home. Can I take the morning? Can you take the kids to the park so I can like have the house quiet and work on art? Or can I take my stuff and go to the park and do some art there or whatever? And then the next idea, ask your husband for a day. I did this one time and I was so afraid to do it, but I was like, hey honey, could I have a day off on a Saturday? Like I asked him in the morning and I could tell he was like, sure. And so I tried not to feel bad and I just took the day off, but I knew I needed it because I was getting to a point of serious burnout. If you're a mom, you know, and if you have 6 kids like me, you really know. So it's okay to ask for what you need. Another great thing is if you have family in town, just to ask, like, can the kids come over to your house? So my mom lives pretty close to us, and so I'll ask her once in a while, like when things get bad, can the kids come over to your house for the afternoon or even the day? Or sometimes like she'll be happy to come over and watch them while I, head out for a couple hours. Hire a babysitter. Ideally for at least 2 hours, maybe 3 or 4, so you can get like a solid chunk. And it's best if you're paying someone, I feel like, to get your money's worth. You should be like separated from the kids. So sometimes like I've had a babysitter come and watch the kids while I'm at home, but they seem to still come to me for the things they need. Someone gets a boo-boo, they want me because I'm there. So if I do hire a babysitter, I try to leave the house, or I try to have her like take them to the park so that I can really get in the flow and focus because there's quiet. And when your kids aren't around, your mental state really shifts. And when they're there, you're on mom mode. So it's really hard to also be, in creative mode when you're on like vigilant mom mode. If you don't have money to hire a babysitter, by the way, if you are selling your art in the future, maybe that can pay for the babysitting. But if you feel like you can't hire a babysitter, try asking a friend that also has kids if you can do a babysitting swap. I've done this several times and it's so helpful because the other mom gets it too. Like we all know that each other needs a break. So if you are doing a little swap, it's helpful for them too. And besides, I love when I have my friends' kids over to my house because my kids usually don't need me for a few hours. Like they're really happy playing with their friends. So try a babysitting swap if you can't hire a babysitter. Here's a big one. Prioritize your art before your chores. I'm not saying to neglect the duties of your vocation. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom, yes, there are still some things that you need to do for your family. But when you prioritize those things and you put off artwork until they're all done, you guys know how it goes. They are never finished. So like there's always dishes, there's always laundry, there's always floors to vacuum, there's always meals to plan for and make. So if you wait until you get everything done to do the artwork, it's not gonna happen. So I recommend just gritting your teeth, ignoring all of the messes and everything in the kitchen as you walk by and get your art stuff out and just do a little bit. Start with it. Tell yourself that stuff's gonna be there for me. When I'm done, it'll still be there and I can do it later. I can catch up. And sometimes when you have something to focus on, like if you have an art project and you're doing it in this time frame, it shrinks the time you have to do the other chores. And funny thing is, when we have less time to do something, we do it in less time. So we do it faster. If we had 7 days to write a paper in school, a lot of times, you creative people, you were staying up the night before to write the whole paper. So if you give yourself the whole afternoon to do the housework, it's gonna take you the whole afternoon, and you probably didn't focus on it either. You were scrolling on your phone, or you were doing other stuff, or you were doing 5 things at once. So the point is, if you prioritize the art first, You'll still get to the other things. They're not gonna be perfect, but you have to choose. You can't have it all, so you kind of gotta choose. If you wanna do the artwork, you gotta make that a priority, and then you'll get the other stuff done as good as it's gonna get. Another thing I really recommend if you're trying to make art a regular part of your life, and this is something that I've done, is to simplify household stuff. So like simplify meals, simplify laundry, and don't simplify first and then do the artwork. Do the artwork, and when you're making that a priority, you'll see like, oh, 15 minutes and we need to eat something before it's bedtime. So what is it gonna be? Rice and beans. And we had that 3 times this week. It's not unhealthy, so we're all gonna live. Hi! Another fun idea, make a space for your artwork. Even if it's a little corner of your bedroom, or like a counter, like a corner counter in your kitchen, or like a drawer, or like a bottom cupboard in your kitchen, or just a cart that's portable or movable around. When I first started painting, I just had my stuff in a box. And I put in the basement when I wasn't using it because the kids would get into it otherwise. And then when I had an hour or two, I would just bring the whole box, the big box, set it on the dining room table, lay out some trash bags, do the art, bring the box back down. So it doesn't have to be like a fancy studio. Now I am so grateful I'm in the luxury of like a basement bar area converted into a studio. And so I have like a spot for everything, and it's been amazing. But for the last few years, I just used my basement for materials. And then when it was nice outside, I just used a corner of the garage. So the kids could be playing outside while I was trying to make some art. Next helpful tip is to do a soft start. So if you're gonna try to make some artwork, but it feels like daunting to you, you're scared like, what if I start and I won't be able to finish? Or what if I start and I don't like it and it's a waste of time and materials? Just do a soft start. I would just like, go to your little area that you have or your materials, get stuff out, put some music in, and just enjoy like maybe tidying up your stuff or prepping a project. Like maybe if you have a painting or something, like I always have to, you know, tape around my painting, prep my canvas, like choose the colors that I want, all that stuff that like comes before doing it. And you can tell yourself, I don't actually have to do the art. I'm just gonna get it ready or just tidy up my studio space. And it seems like the hardest thing is starting. So once you have that little soft start, something that leads into, well, I might as well just start, you know, I'm down here, I got everything out. And even if you don't start, then it's ready, it's waiting for you for next time. So like say you set it up the night before, but it's late and you really have to go to bed. Well, it's ready for you. Maybe you'll wake up early in the morning and do it the next morning, or like next day during nap time. That brings me to another one of my tips. If you can, nap time is a great time to do it because then the baby is sleeping and you can like do a little project, hopefully while the baby gets their nap. If you have more than one child or your kids don't nap, you just have to find another time or just make it happen. And maybe you're bringing your kids along with you. Maybe they have to fend for themselves a little bit. And that's not such a bad thing. I feel like sometimes when I'm working on art and my kids are kind of like running unsupervised in the yard or like making their own snacks in the kitchen, I think some of that is kind of good for their development, because otherwise I would tend to, you know, feel like I need to like peanut butter and jelly your bread for you, or, you know, tie your shoes for you, when in reality a lot of those things like are good for them to kind of struggle and figure out on their own, or have an older sibling help them with. It's good to be, you know, available for your kids, but it's okay to not be 24/7 available to them. I don't know if I mentioned, but I also homeschool my kids. So I am with them, not just like in the morning and after school, but like 24/7. So it's good to have some times where you're either leaving the house or waking up before they get up in the morning, or staying up after they go to bed at night, some time where you're not just on mom mode. So you can kind of get into that creative flow. And that brings me into my next tip, which is to try to set yourself up to get into a creative flow. And here are some simple, easy tips to do that. First is pick a good time of the day. So if you're really like energized and excited in the morning, then make that the time of day that you try to do art. don't wait until like the afternoon, late afternoon, when you're stressed about what's for supper and you're like getting tired. Don't set yourself up for failure by deciding that's when you're gonna try to do your artwork. Pick a good time of the day. And then second, put away the distractions. Put your phone away, put the screens away, turn off the TV or whatever it is, so you can really have focused time. Third is pick one thing to work on. We women especially, there are so, like, our mind is like spaghetti, just swirling around with all the things that we should do or could do or want to do or heard about. And if you're just gonna pick one thing, and maybe you pick it like the day before instead of wait till you're like ready to create, but you pick one thing and work on that one thing in that focused time so you can really get into the flow. And then the fourth thing to help you get into that flow is put on some music. Music changes so much in your brain, and just putting on especially like some instrumental music that you enjoy, it can really help, or maybe confidence boost music, it can really help your right brain shut off. Is that like the smart side, like the right brain? And then the creative side just be able to kind of take over. Just a couple more tips. One is I really like the book Atomic Habits. It helped me to figure out how to make art a habit in my life, because you could get really excited about it and then do a bunch of it one weekend, and then everything goes up in smoke and you never do it again. Or you start 500 different projects and never finish them. I feel like setting up a good system of habits has really helped me to like continue to move forward and continue keeping art a part of my life as a mom of young kids. And in that book, one of the just helpful things is to try to like create a positive feeling around the desired habit that you're trying to achieve. So like something as simple as when it's the time I've decided that I'm gonna go down to my studio and work on art, I grab like a yummy coffee or like an energy bar to take down with me, and I eat that and then I start. And so like every time I think about going to do art, it's not like, oh no, what am I gonna make? Or I don't really feel like this right now. It's like, all right, let's get the coffee or let's get the energy bar and let's go down and put the music in and have fun. Kind of like make it a pleasant experience. And that's something that I just want to end with, is that if you're a mom overwhelmed, but you're wanting to do artwork in your life, I would focus on just, making it starting small, making it fun. You don't want to burn out of art just like you're burning out of being a mom. You want it to be something that recharges you or energizes you for your most important vocation of being a wife and a mother. So I just recommend that you try to back off when you feel like it's just becoming a stressor. Like if you try to jump into making it a business or like learning web stuff or whatever too soon, I would just start making the art, doing the thing that you enjoy in little bits, where it can, where you can fit it in your life, and just try to keep it fun, because that is what's going to help you to continue increasing or growing or learning or doing it more and enjoying it. If you've started and you don't finish something, or you plan that you're going to work on it, you have these goals and you don't achieve them, and you're tempted to be like, oh, it's just because I never have time for anything. Don't beat yourself up about it, because that kind of takes the fun and the purpose out of why you want to do the art in the first place. It's something you enjoy. It's something innate in you as a creative person, as an artist. And so you want to try to keep that enjoyment and intention in mind. All right, thanks for hanging with me today. I encourage you in your artwork and in your mothering. They're both so important, and you can do them both. And I hope you find some of these tips helpful on how you can incorporate art more into your life as a mother. If it was helpful, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this video with another mom you know who may need these words of encouragement. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you next time.